Brilliant. Welcome everybody. Welcome to Planning and Licensing this evening on the 17th of September. And off we go. Right, apologies. Please, Duncan.
Right, we have two apologies this evening, Councillors Williamson and Morris.
Brilliant, thank you. And interests, if anyone's got any interests? I always make it, it's a bit like being a chair, isn't it? When I used to be, I used to put pictures of different chairs depending on how I was feeling. I was saying interest, yeah, hobbies, interests. Sorry. Right, meeting management issues. We haven't got any members of the public in, so I don't think we really need to cover that. Right, minutes. I'm happy to propose the minutes.
I'll second them.
Voting on the minutes. Yeah. Wonderful. Is everybody? Were there any matters arising from the minutes?
I don't think there's anything that won't be covered on the agenda.
Karen's just entered the building. There we go. Welcome, Karen.
I don't think there's anything that we won't be covering on the agenda this evening. So.
Sorry, I haven't got to the agenda now. Did we add that we now have a new working party?
It's presumably. Sorry, it's some days since since they were written.
It's not on the agenda, so is it worth saying it now as a meeting?
It's not on the agenda. I do apologise. It certainly should be.
No. So we have a new working party that's had its first meeting, which reports to this committee, which is the revival of the derelict buildings working party. I'm not quite sure how many people are on it now, because we've had a couple of volunteers, and of course it's across the council, but a good start.
Yeah, and it's not mentioned in the minutes.
It is on IBABS, Joanna.
Oh, sorry, is it?
There you go, neighbourhood plan. I've taken the liberty, if you don't mind, of taking the governance review off, because that was the governance review 2019, and I don't believe that we're looking at that being re-enlivened in any way.
Well, until we revive it, yes.
Is it the paper agenda that doesn't mention? I need to update that. I do apologise.
Oh, I've signed it, but you're going to change that then. Okay.
I'll sort that out.
And then do some more.
I can just say, because of the community governance, at some stage we will need to look at that again, because it's what was decided is not satisfactory as far as nuclear is concerned. So after 2 years we need to, and it must be getting close to that now.
That's right past.
Yeah,
that's
so,
two years is a dot on the horizon.
We need to think about whether we are going to be making a formal request for a boundary change. But not tonight.
No, not tonight.
Can we put that as an issue for the next meeting?
Brilliant. So it's quite interesting, because that breakdown that you have from IBABS doesn't appear on when I go through Azure. It doesn't come through the little sub bits that I have on there. So that's fine. It's not a huge issue, but sometimes
this is the public facing agenda.
Oh, because I don't look at the public one.
And I do worry about that there might be a disconnect between the app, if that's what you're using, and the
Yes,
yeah, so I haven't got any of that.
I'll have a conversation with Will about
if you can have a conversation with Will.
Personally, I would recommend just using the browser, because that app, to be honest, since it came in, there's been nothing but trouble.
Oh no, the app is much better than the Sorry, the app is much better.
It's not got the up-to-date stuff on, so I would disagree with you there.
I'm not sure why not. That's there's lots of meetings.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay. Where'd I got to? Matter right. Right. Open sessions for electors. Well, there's nobody in the gallery. Do we have any written questions, Duncan?
No, we have received no written questions.
Wonderful. Right, active consultations.
Right, we haven't got any active ones that are going to be responded to or discussed this evening. We have been consulted on a proposal to provide pedestrian improvements on Lusty Glaze Road. I can email this to councillors if you would like. It didn't arrive in time for it to go on the agenda, but as I say, I can certainly email that out to councillors ahead of the meeting scheduled for Tuesday the 30th.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you.
What sort of time span is the response due?
We certainly have time. I think they tend to be quite generous, to be honest, with these. They don't tend to be rushed like the licensing ones.
Did you have a question, Karen?
Have you got a spare copy of the agenda, please?
Do you want, No, we don't. Okay.
You've not got a copy of the
The right agenda.
You've not got a copy of this either, then, have you? It's strange because I put 7 down there.
Perhaps Martin's looking at it with his telly and his snacks. Okay, so that was the end of the active consultations, but yes?
Yes, so
okay.
there is one, and I will email
Okay,
out to
brilliant.
people ahead of the next meeting so that you have plenty of time to look at it.
So, licensing, decisions license, right, the Bank Street, 2 Bank Street.
Yeah, indeed. We put in our representation, and we got exactly what we wanted back from from some people in an office in London somewhere who run Cafe Nero. Came back and said, "Yep, no, quite happy with what the town council have asked for, which is 4 tables, not 6, and it's seats only backing onto the premises," which is, to be honest, how they appear to set up anyway. So I would say that's a very good result. The withdrawal of the application, that had to happen quite swiftly, so we did it by email. So it's just a decision to be ratified that we followed the correct process in terms of withdrawing the representation once the new plans were received.
I'll second that then. All in favour of the processes? Yeah, brilliant. Thank you.
That was a very straightforward, very good result, to be honest.
Yeah, it was a good result. Yeah, sensible. Sensibility won out on that one. And then licensing updates. So this morning between 10 and 12, it was solely to do with the rum sailor up at Prow Park. And there was very long discussions on that.
So were you at a licensing hearing?
Yes, the licensing, the subcommittee hearing, yeah, this morning. So, but they put their case. They didn't see the problem with they wanted the whole area. I don't know if you can remember that the diagram, the aerial view, they'd included the car park all to be licensed to sell alcohol. So anybody rocking up in a car could effectively sell alcohol. But we got that down to what nearly ideally what we wanted. So it is just the unit 12, the rum sailor bar, which will be licensed. That aerial view will be removed, and the consumption of alcohol limited to the 2 decking areas. They wanted, I personally, I would have preferred the top decking area, but all those other units are meant to be selling food, so they wanted people to be able to walk around drinking their pints, and eating street food effectively from the other units. So it's going to be limited to the 2 decking areas above each other and not the car park, with signage and things going up. I think that was...
Yeah, I think we got about, I felt we got about 80% of what we were looking for.
Yeah.
It's certainly, it was certainly, the councillors did largely side with us, which was really good, because at one point we thought we were just going to get nothing out of it at all.
Yeah.
They spent a long time deliberating, and they did it twice. They were also encouraged to follow up on the planning points that we pointed out to them. One is a change of use, because that's currently a Class E unit, which isn't suitable. They need a change of use class for a bar, and also the fact that their closing time is half an hour after the planning permission cessation time of 10 o'clock at night. Yeah. So they have been encouraged by the subcommittee to sort that out as well. So it wasn't a disaster. It was about an 80% success. So a bit of a compromise, but we got there.
Yeah. Watch
just a little bit, just a bit of a reminder really. The 2 deckings, one's higher and one's lower, so one's street level. Yeah. So the licensing committee have said that they can drink on that lower decking, but the other food vendors are around, so they can leave that decking and go and get food with their pints.
No. So what you've got is a row of units at ground floor level with decking in front of them, and then a row of units on top of those with decking in front of them. So the idea is that the premises boundary would be the whole footprint of that development. So the units and the decking, but the licensable activities, which is the retail supply of alcohol, would only take place in the one unit, the rum sailor. I think the application really didn't explain very well what they were trying to achieve. I think basically you're going to have these 12 units, 6 on top, 6 on the bottom. One is going to sell alcohol, the rest of them are going to be of a street food nature. So the idea is that you could go and you'll buy your pizza, or you'll buy some Lebanese food, or you'll buy whatever from one of the units, and when you want alcohol, you go to Unit 12, the Rum Sailor.
So if they've bought a drink from the rum sailor and they're on the decking, but then they want to go and get a burger or wherever, they're going to have to leave their drink there to go and get the food.
If they wanted to leave, if they wanted to go off those 2 levels of decking, yeah, absolutely, because they would then be off the premises.
Right.
And the sale of
That's
alcohol.
going to be hard to police, I think. But...
We did make this point, which is why we wanted to restrict it to just the top level, because at least then you've got people at eye level, and they wouldn't just be able to walk off because they're going to have to go down a set of stairs.
I don't know how
but
police that.
We are told that they are going to. So watch this space. If there are problems there, the police they'll ultimately come to the police's attention. So we'll just have to see what's going to happen.
There's nothing really to do with the application, but I think it would have enough footfall to keep 12 units or 6 units serving food.
Their plans for it are to have it as a market space in the car park, and lots of people selling alcohol, because that's originally what the licensing would have covered, as opposed to, and then they would have had that responsibility for anybody selling alcohol, not the vendors themselves.
Which bit of Prow Park is it?
I'll show you.
No,
so if you have a look, but of course the decking underneath, of course, there's then out of the rain, isn't it? So if it's raining, then you go and take your drink downstairs and you can eat out of the rain.
don't worry, Duncan.
Okay, yeah.
It just seems that unlikely.
But they were discussing it, that people could just go walking in and around these units with their drink.
So I will show you, I haven't gone
Yeah,
to
yeah.
the effort of finding it. So this is Proud Park. This area here, slightly
Yeah.
coloured area, is the 2 lots of units, one on top of the other.
So it's
and
construction.
The decking comes out a little bit in front of those, sort of like a little kind of skirt in front of them. This area is parking for, did we say about 28 cars, didn't we?
Yeah, they said
The
40 odd.
original licence included a plan of the premises, which also included other businesses, so that would have also had a red line around them, meaning they could have sold alcohol. The reasoning behind that was very, very flawed. But they also then provided a red and blue line
Around the whole lot.
around the whole lot. We managed to get rid of that completely because it was bonkers.
So,
And
so
I did, unfortunately, I mean, thankfully they weren't live streaming this one, but I did say to them the advice, because they paid for advice from Cornwall Council, and I did say to them the advice you pay for is very, very poor, because it is.
something which was brought up, of course, there's the brewery up there. I can't remember which brewery is it, the Pipeline Brewery. And because she said, oh, there's a bar up here already, and we're going, what? But they have a tap room. And they have photographs online of sitting outside with their pints of beer. So I think it's Unit 2, which I think could be over here. I don't know. I think it could be over here, Unit 2, which is opposite. So I think there is a general concern there's going to be people wandering around with alcohol on the site.
Yeah.
So it'll be watch that space, really. Yeah. Ho hum.
I mean, at least this is workable from where we started.
Yes, yeah. I mean, it took 2 hours to get to that. It was,
This sounds to be good work.
yeah, it could do. And they're meant to demarcate. Is that right? The lower decking. I think they're going to put boundaries up on it rather than just being step off it and into the car park.
Yeah.
And with lots of signs, hopefully. Right, discussion, previous planning applications, Duncan, number 9.
We've still got 2 licenses.
Oh, really do? Oh, sorry, because I can't see it, sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah,
So the Barrow Boys, street trading, we've got no updates on that. We were told that there would be another hearing, but that hasn't happened and the season has gone. So I'm not going to update you any more on that as a matter of course. And then last Wednesday, we attended the, LAO3 subcommittee hearing for Sahara City. Again, it was one where we really weren't happy with the plans. The application wasn't heard at the hearing. It has been deferred at the last minute under a regulation covering a regulation of the Licensing Act covering irregularities, in this case an administrative error by the licensing authority. They sent us the wrong set of plans. So we're now waiting for what will be.
How did they identify that?
Because I said to them straight away, before I brought the application to you lot, I said to them, just as a heads up, we will be objecting to these plans because they don't meet the regulations. And I was told, we have accepted the plans, they meet the regulations. We then sat down, we looked at the plans, they were just floor plans, there was no indication of where the licensable areas were, where the premises boundary was. We objected. It then turns out that when the applicant put in their application, the officer did say, these plans are no good. And so they came back with a second set of plans. But they sent us the wrong set of plans when we asked for them. That this will be when they do rearrange the hearing date. And to be honest, now that they've got plans, we don't even need a hearing. But when they do set a new date, that will be the 3rd date for this.
But if we're happy with the plans, can we not withdraw our representation if it's just us?
I'm waiting for licensing to get back to us about that because I've a horror. There's no need. There was no need for a hearing for this last one, to be honest. If licensing had done their job properly, I'm waiting to hear back. So it might be that they've gone too far down that road that they have to have a hearing in name at least. Anyway, we'll see. That one I will be updating you on. I won't bother again with the Barrow Boys.
Brilliant, thank you, Duncan. Sorry, previous planning permissions, number 9. Oh, we don't have to ratify anything, do we, that for licensing? No?
No.
No.
No, we've ratified the Cafe Nero.
Yeah.
It's 5-day protocols.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So
So,
you want me to-
yeah.
Yeah. So this was the.
I can't
the
see
one-
them. All I have
Right.
is the heading. Yeah.
This is annoying, isn't it? So the one 5-day protocol was the land south of Longshore Apartments, so up by the Atlantic Hotel. 4 councillors responded, all agreeing to disagree with the officer recommendation to approve. I know you weren't happy with it, but I also know that you didn't feel you had any material considerations. I did include a comment about the concerns of the land, the retaining wall behind Harvest Moon collapsing onto the Harvest Moon apartments. I did include that, but as I say, you agreed to disagree. So
Sorry, Duncan, I disagreed with that one
that's
completely. Yeah, I didn't agree to disagree.
I think Karen did put in an objection.
I objected. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it makes any difference. But I did
No.
object.
Karen,
If
it
it goes
might.
on a majority, then it's sort of more people say
I
agree
did
to
get a
disagree.
couple in after the deadline date, and I have a
Oh,
feeling that yours
Okay.
is one of them. So I'd already responded to the local authority by that point. Okay.
It's got, because with the 5-day, it has to be within that 5 days. It's called a 5-day protocol. Beyond that, it's just too late. Sorry. Yeah. Because I think, Sandy, didn't you object to it as well? Yeah, but again, I think it was after the date.
Yes, it was.
If it's 3 people agreeing to disagree and 2 people objecting,
Yeah.
agreeing to
Yeah.
disagree, well, wins,
Yeah.
that's all.
Just to be aware of that, sort of like in the future.
They
Need
are
to be
a-
like
they
a
are
whippet.
The 5-day protocols are a quick turnaround.
Yeah.
I think that was one where I replied about 1 o'clock in the afternoon and it started as 12 and you were on annual leave, maybe?
No, Duncan hasn't been away. No.
Did you just got outvoted?
I got out.
Yeah. Okay, so is that the only one, Duncan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I do have a non-material amendment which I'll be sending out in a day or two to you as well, so keep your eyes
Okay.
open for that. Okay.
So due process taken on that, so I'm happy to propose that. Margaret seconding. All in favour that due process done? Yeah, brilliant. Thank you, Duncan. Planning applications. So application 1 is PA 25/06253. Certificate of lawfulness of existing use of extension at Ralph's, 24/26 4th Street. Duncan, you're doing this one, aren't you?
Sure. I think if I just zoom in a bit. Oh, right. Yeah. I'll share that in a second. Thank you. Where are we? Okay. It's on 4th Street. I've got a street view for you. Sorry, I'm struggling to find. Okay, so the street view is of the premises in its previous incarnation, which was the Cove. So the background to this is it was previously operating as the Cove restaurant. Currently, Ralph's, as of April 2025, property is operating as a restaurant and uses the extended kitchen area described in the application. I'm just going to share my screen. So the application form relates to existing building works in the form of a rear extension that we're told was substantially completed by April 2020 and has over 4 years continuous use. So it would meet the threshold that exists for certificates of lawful use and development. We're told that the four plus years is continuous. It says in the application documents it's evidenced by advertising, public trading, comments and photographs, none of which appear amongst the application documents. The only hint of any evidence that we have are some plans dated from 2019. I'm not doubting that this is
And can I just say, if they said 4 continuous years, we had COVID, they would have been closed.
there's a dispensation for that though.
Yeah,
okay,
they
yeah.
didn't have 4 years
Yeah, but there is a dispensation which allows them to say it is 4 years continuous use. The fact that they couldn't operate as a business. But yeah, we do have some plans that have got 2019 written on them. If we
Is this one of these where we just say no objection provided the officer is convinced the evidence
I
there?
think so. What you can see here is the main area of the premises, and then you can just see what sort of kind of sits behind. And I've got another plan here that just shows how the two at some point over 4 years ago became interlinked, and then they were able to use that rear space as a kitchen. We've got some standard wording for ones like this where it just goes, councillors were unaware of any evidence that would contradict the assertion made by the applicant. And you know, in this case, I would recommend that you usually raise no objection where the evidence isn't desperately
There's nobody objected
clear.
to having this kitchen in the back of the
Absolutely not, no.
Do you want to make a proposal, Joanna?
Yeah, I propose that we make no objection, subject to the officer receiving the evidence and being convinced that what the applicant said is true.
Yeah. Seconder for that?
I'll second that.
Yeah. All in voting favour? Yeah. Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you. Brilliant. Application 2. PA 25/05796 4 Anthony Road. I'm presenting loft conversion with rear dormer to provide additional lounge space and bedroom. So there's for Anthony Road. That's the site plan. So let's put my pointer on. It warms up. There we go. So what they're proposing is going to be a dormer on the south side, on this side. So you're not going to see it from the road. So if anything, it's this property here on number 7, which if you look at your pack of papers that you picked up, oh, look at that. What about a pack of papers you picked up? Wow. Try and see how quickly we can do that. You'll see that there's comments from number 7 when we get to them. Right, okay. So number 2 then, please, Duncan, proposed block plan. There we go. So there's it. So it's within the footprint of the building. The green box is going to be the extent of the dormer on the south side of the roof. Street view, I put in a street view. But you can only see from the back. There we go, there it is. So
these are set down below, aren't they?
Yeah.
The 2 and 4 are
yeah.
all
So 2 and 4 are on the other side of the road up here, looking over that, and they won't see it at all. It won't impact them at all. It's 7 which will have the impact of potential overlooking. Existing plans, please, Duncan. There we go, there's the existing one. So this is the street side we've just looked at with its separate garage here. And that's the garden side. So it's this diagram here that you're going to to look at. And of course, it's only got one story. So if we look at then the proposed plans, there we go. There's the dormer with the Juliet balcony, and then the upstairs staircase coming up here with a bedroom upstairs. So it gives them more space then from there.
Can we go back to the original again?
So, yeah, so they're putting the staircase in.
Yeah. So that's what it looks like at the moment.
Yeah. And then that's it with the dormer.
Yeah. It's a very
So-
big dormer, isn't it? It completely
yeah, it's-
covers the whole roof.
It's, yes, it almost covers the whole roof.
Can I just ask, you said that's the garage, let me swing it around, yeah.
So that's the back of the garage
Yeah,
there
just-
and the garden.
Yeah.
So this is going to be what's going to be looking effectively over number 7. Now, I said the next thing was a satellite image. If we have a look at the aerial. Okay, so here it is. You'll actually see this will set a precedent. There's no rear dormers. And it is quite a distance then to number 7 of Chiverton Close.
So that's number 7, Chiverton Close.
Yeah, Chiverton Close.
Yeah.
Which is, they've said that they don't have a, what's that, 16 metres?
Yeah, 16 and a half, 17 metres.
So in the comment that they've put in there, that they don't have a problem. They not necessarily be there
Because they're
forever.
doing something anyway.
And they're saying about growing the shrubbery and everything. So I'm just highlighting for you, for instance, that there aren't any dormers, and there's no dormers on the front opposite either. So, or on the side. Joe, sorry.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, go for it.
Are you mid-flow?
No. I've just.
Right. Duncan, I wonder if could we look at a street view at
Chiverton Close,
yeah,
looking outwards.
Chiverton. But let me just see if I can point out where I'm asking. Is it, I'm building
He's
up
gonna-
to
he's
using
gonna-
the pointer.
Oh, he's going to use the pointer. This
Right.
is-
Can you see? Could you go about there
Yeah,
and then look upwards? Yeah. Great. So we're just going to look up the hill and then just see what it might. See if we can imagine something from.
Keep going
yeah,
round.
A bit further round, yeah. Because that's
And I
number
think
7
you need to
you're looking
go
at there.
down the hill a bit because
Maybe.
they've got their garage there.
Yeah.
So,
That's
yeah,
on
look
7,
up.
isn't
So
it?
this
that's
is it
Yeah.
here.
That's quite small, isn't it?
And that's going to be the dormer that's going to be there. But you can see the land
I mean, it is
devoid
going to
of
overlook.
dormers.
It is going to overlook, isn't it?
Yeah.
But their focus will be on Dowside, won't it?
The
The Juliet balcony is looking at that, is to the right.
Juliet balcony will be
You're
coming
moving
towards us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to the left.
Yeah.
That
So-
that way, you mean?
Yeah, it's
Right.
going to
Looking
be
at it where the cursor
here,
is, yeah, that's where the
looking-
balcony is.
Oh, I see what you
Looking
mean.
down
yeah,
there.
That's where the big window is, I would say.
yes.
Well, the view is straight ahead, isn't it? So they're quite a long way above number 7.
I mean, I'm up for discussion on this. I really don't know. It's going to be it will be setting a precedent that there's nothing really stopping anyone else there having dormers, and from a changing character of the street. Joe.
yeah. Sorry, I've still got my mic on. So, is there anything in the neighbourhood plan to think about is there any tiering in the neighbourhood plan that talks
Well,
about?
they just say maintain the tiering, which
Yeah.
is what this is doing,
Yeah.
because it's a higher level.
Yeah.
I mean, it may not be common in this particular road, but... I
No.
on
I mean, they
the
were having it.
side, there's
Yeah.
Loads of doors.
Yeah.
That's the one in at the moment, so it might not do with it.
Well, I mean, Duncan's just asking about the ridge height, and I was a bit confused on this because on the proposed plan, you see it's got a red dotted line here. And so I think they could be,
It's increasing it slightly.
they're increasing the roof height slightly as well.
Against that garage in the bottom, in the bottom right-hand corner. So if you see, they're almost level there, and then it's slightly higher. It's
Yeah.
not much of an increase.
It's
in
not
height.
much, but it isn't. So I suspect they're putting a whole new roof on.
If you look at the one off the top of the hill, I really can't see much of a problem with it, yeah, which is obviously Chipton Close, that one. But I can't see much of a problem with this. I would go no objection, subject to confirmation that there's no overlooking. Or no invasion of privacy, I think that's...
Margaret, do you want
I think it sits with what you said before. These were built as bungalows, you know, and what we're now seeing is the capacity or the amount of bungalows we've got are just being diminished.
Yeah.
Because everybody's making them into houses.
Yeah.
Can you go back to just close the street view? I just want to look at the top down of the whole road again.
So,
No, actually, sorry, well, I didn't explain the stuff right. So it's if you can do the
Aerial
bird's
shot.
eye view aerial shot.
the satellite
of
image.
the whole street, because I'm just trying to get an idea of what precedent is going to be set.
Bearing in mind this, I can't date this image. I don't know how old. I don't know the street views. I do know how old they are. I don't know how old this one is.
So these are houses along here, and we had planning in last year, or might even been the year before. Remember that they wanted to develop their garage into that, and we said no, because they're quite characterful, these houses. They are all the same, and
They've all had, I mean, number 4 and number 2 have all had extensions supported. So effectively, whereas it was a line of similar road, quite a nice view of similar houses, they've changed completely. I mean, it's
but the
just
houses,
times and
yeah,
times, really.
the houses might have extensions, but I don't think the garages got converted into rooms, though. I don't think that went through.
No, this is not converting a garage, is it?
No, I'm just saying that
The front of
the front of the,
front
yeah,
hasn't changed.
the front hasn't
It does
changed.
if you look up, when you look up the road, it
So
absolutely has changed.
these here then are bungalows, and then we've got houses on this end, and of course these are houses. So it's really setting a precedent that this area of bungalows will go.
We have to look at it on its own merits. Frankly, I don't have a problem with this. I think it's a sign of the times that houses are being extended. Have we looked at the floor plans to see what they're actually planning to put in the roof?
Yes, we
Yeah.
have, but
It's a, yeah.
So
Bedroom
what you're looking
and
at this
living area.
first floor plan, and you've got storage area obviously in the, I guess that's in the narrower part of the
Yeah.
yeah, and then bedroom and a living room as per the description.
It's interesting that the bed's in front of the Juliet balcony. Be flashing at their neighbours, where the living space is not.
No, you've got that wrong.
Turn it round, swing it
Yeah.
round.
That's the.
Oh, I see. Oh, right,
Yeah,
yes,
sorry,
okay.
it's-
Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry.
It's not helpful the way they've done
No,
it. but-
it's like... No, there's only comments of support for it from the neighbours.
So I've made a proposal, we send no objection, subject to confirmation that there is no overlooking of the adjacent area. He doesn't seem to be worried. And I can't remember what he's done to his house, but he's obviously made it bigger as well. I've got planning permission to do that.
I personally don't like it. I think it is setting a precedent and it is overlooking.
We've got a proposal.
Yeah, so we need a seconder for that, and then we can
No.
vote on.
Sorry.
It's all right, Karen. You can vote against it,
Yeah,
and we'll see.
yeah.
So do we have does Joanne have a seconder?
I will second it, because I think it's worth voting on that proposal, to be honest. I'm still undecided.
You might vote against it.
I may well vote against it, but I think it's worth going because I mean, to be honest, we've got three options, haven't we?
Yeah.
We either support it, which I'm not likely to. We either object to it, which I personally think that we won't have grounds to object, although we could do that. Or, but I do think that the no objection is probably the middle ground. It's probably the one worth pursuing, and that's why I'm going to second it, and that's why I think we should vote.
Okay, look, Lamorna's flashing hers on and off. What do you want to say, Lamorna?
I just think it's very ugly, but I don't think we've got grounds for actually refusing it.
There are a lot of similar. There's a lot of similar.
Am I right, Chair, that the proposal is now going to be voted on because it's being seconded?
Yes, we can vote on that now. Right. So.
Do we have to talk about the ridge height because that's going?
Yeah, before we vote, talk about that,
I mean, the ridge height in itself, I think, is a very small.
There is a measurement there, isn't there?
Yeah, it's about
43 centimetres or
Meters, yeah.
434 millimetres.
Foot and a half. Does it say? Does it say on the K what the roof's going to be? Because they're all red tiles on that. Does it give?
Well, the interesting thing is on the back, where they're putting is you can hardly see a tile. They're putting it right up to the level of the ridge, from the looks of it.
I'm sorry, Duncan. I didn't know if they had it in the.
But I would.
Yeah, building.
My
materials.
assumption is they're keeping it the same colour, because otherwise they just have to replace the whole roof, which is an expensive little item.
So the dormer to be clad in anthracite grey composite cladding.
That's the sides.
That's the dormer.
Front. That's the dormer.
So presumably the concrete tiles at the front remain the same.
All right. Well.
So it's going to be in a grey plastic box, then stuck on the front of the roof with Juliet windows. Oh right. Okay. So I mean, voted that those who are with no objection.
Because doing it myself is that grey is actually not related to the roof, but is related to the walls of a house. So if they're grey, then it makes sense to have a grey cladding. You actually can't see the roof on this because it's quite a big dormer. I have no idea what the colour of the house
Well,
is.
it's going to be vertical, looks like wood, not wood cladding. Grey. But that's totally different to what the house is rendered in. And there's nowhere else like that with a grey cladded dormer.
Yeah, but it
dormer
depends
there.
what the house is. If you go, can we go back and have a look at the existing house, which will give us an idea of what the walls are?
It was rendered, didn't it say that on the planning application? I think it was going to be.
Yes, that's what I mean. That was probably.
Well, it's blue, eggshell blue.
That was from June last year, so it's probably still that colour, I guess.
So, yeah, vote on no objection then.
Subject to no loss of privacy.
Subject to no loss of privacy. So, yeah, if we take the vote on that.
So, I mean, I am going to do no objection through a second. I haven't met the reservations, but I'm going to I have to jump on my.
Objection to it.
Yeah. It's a pretty weak hand.
Okay. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 no objections. Objection? 2 objections. Brilliant. Right.
Yeah, it's been a bit, but still a reservation. Anyway, done.
application 3, PA 25/06264, 93, Spa, at 93 Tower Road, change of use of garage storage building, including loft space to dwelling. I didn't know they had such a large garage behind the spa.
Right, so this one's on it's the junction, the Spa Shop, on the junction of Tower Road and Trevose Avenue. So let's just zoom in a bit. That's the Spa, Tower Road convenience store. We've got a couple of street views actually. Obviously that one, that's seen from Tower Road, but we can also see the garage if we wander down Trevose Avenue. Yeah, so that's Tower Road there, so we've just wandered down the side. So this is the garage in question. So we'll start off with the location plan.
Oh, it is quite small, isn't it? When you look at the size of the neighbouring buildings.
Yeah, so obviously the blue line site is land owned by the applicant, the red line is the application site where the works will take place. You can see this section here that juts out. This is the existing crossover that serves the property. So if we just go back, you can see, maybe come up here slightly, you can see they've included, maybe that's the wrong way, they've included this sort of crossover area as well.
But it's not theirs.
They've included, it's not about ownership, it's about that forms part of the application site.
So is it down?
So they aren't saying that they own that, they're saying that it's part of the application site. And I think that they've just done that because at the moment they've got crossover to access the garage. What they're looking to do is have this area in the front as a parking space. And I think the point they're making is that there is already access via the crossover. It's slightly unusual, but I thought I might need to just sort of kind of clarify that. There is a design statement. It tells us this building was used as a garage and storage area for the Spa Shop. It's now redundant in those uses. There is a concrete yard to the rear of the property measuring 2 metres by 9 metres, and there's a path that goes up the side of the property leading to that courtyard, so you can go from the front round to that courtyard at the back. Have a look at some plans now. Okay, so the maybe that's slightly larger. So we've got the ground floor there, top left. That shows the footprint of the garage, the yard to the rear, parking to the front, and this sort of path down the side. There is also an accessible space, loft space, access via a hatch within the pitch roof of the garage. The south elevation, that's what we saw from Trevose Avenue. North, that's this side that backs onto this little yard out the back. The east elevation is obviously where it adjoins 93 Tower Road, and the west is the side that would be facing that abuts the driveway. I think if we look that way, yeah, so the west is going to be looking at this blank wall here. Okay, we'll have a look at the proposed now. I'll make this slightly larger so that you can get a better idea of what they want to do. So, ground floor, you've got, you would have an entrance door on the south elevation, this one here, leading to the leading to the kitchen area. I got that right, yeah. Double bedroom and a bathroom, stairs located in the living area leading to the loft.
This is already there, are they saying?
Yes, so what they're doing with that is they're putting in a partial floor, so it will be a mezzanine floor. That shows a single window facing that blank gable wall that we looked at a moment ago. There are no other first floor views apart from a roof light. We're told that the combined floor area of the loft and the ground floor comes in at 53 metres squared. I was slightly concerned about this because the nationally described minimum space standard requires that a one-bedroom, two-person, two-storey dwelling needs 58 metres squared.
Yeah.
So, as I say, one-bedroom, two-person, two-storey. Strangely, they don't seem to give a figure for one-person, two-storey accommodation. So it's kind of like one. If you're a single person, you can only have one floor of. You're not allowed to have two floors. Yeah. So I think that's
confused. So it's the garage.
Yeah.
Are they doing something to the main building as well?
We'll look at the elevations in a moment.
Yeah.
So that's the floors. That's the floor plan and the floor space. Personally, I felt there was just a question as to be asked of the officer as whether it meets the nationally described minimum space standard. In terms of elevations, so that's the side that faces Trevose Avenue. So let's just make that one a bit bigger. So at the moment, you've got this with your garage doors. You would be looking at this with its front door. There's a roof light and a window from the kitchen, I think it is.
No, that's the bedroom.
Oh, sorry, you're quite right. That's the main entrance and the bedroom window there. The north elevation, so that's the one that's facing that small courtyard. You've got a double patio door there, and they've not shown the east and west elevations for some strange reason, but they're not hugely meaningful, to be honest. In terms of parking, we're told that the property will retain the existing single off-road parking space. Another question councillors might want to ask themselves is, do you feel that the outdoor area is large enough to be considered an amenity space? There is a Chief Officer's guidance note that has suggested in the past that it's not policy, it's a guidance note, that amenity space should match the footprint of the dwelling, and I'd be surprised if this does.
Oh, I'm not sure. It doesn't
Maybe it does. It's a question for you to ask yourselves, I thought. Okay?
Is there a way that we can answer that question objectively? Do we have measurements?
We don't have measurements, no. All we have is a measurement that, well, we know that the rear patio is 2 by 9, and we know that the combined floor space of both floors is 53, but we don't really know what the floor space of the footprint is. Just the garage.
Can I just say that I'm not quite sure why they're making it a mezzanine floor, because I mean currently the floor goes right across, and they're chopping off the end of it. I don't know what building regs are going to say about that, to put a window in, as opposed to, I think they would have been better off doing the whole floor and everything, because I have a concern here. I know you're going to say this isn't planning, that this wall that they're going to be putting the staircase up is straight over the patio doors.
It's a lighting issue, isn't it?
Yeah, but they could have had a Velux window in here.
To light downstairs, we have one of those quite easily, but they do exactly the same thing.
Well, interestingly, the patio, the Velux looks as though it's on the edge, but on the actual plan it's near the roof. Do you know what I mean?
Well, they're making the Velux bigger, aren't they, from what it is to what it...
Oh, but this is what they're going to do.
Yeah.
If you look at it on the plan up there on the right, the Velux looks as though it's nearly on the guttering, so to speak.
Here?
Yeah, but look up, go up and to the right. See the Velux? It doesn't look as though it's...
No, that's not the actual, that's the cupboard in the, under the roof. This is the roof boundary here.
Okay. Well,
So,
yeah, all right.
Yeah,
yeah,
the middle of the roof, the ridge of the roof is
Oh.
probably about
Yeah.
there.
yeah,
It just looked a bit odd.
yeah, no,
It's even older when you look at that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that one's taken from overhead.
yeah. Yeah, Joe.
So I just want to make a point about this, forgive me, the terminology was about the minimum square footage or something for...
Yeah,
Nationally prescribed minimum space standards.
Couldn't have put it better myself. They, I think what I would like to see clarity from perhaps from, if we could take this back in the comments, is that we don't know whether it would fulfil the requirements for a single person. And I think it would be really good for somebody to get a definitive answer on that, because the way I'm thinking about it is if it is for a single person, I think it does meet minimum standards, and we can then proceed to make a decision on that basis.
Do we have time to send it round here?
I think this probably needs to form part of your whatever comment you would
Yeah.
say. I
I'm
think
inclined
this-
to object, and then unless they can convince me it's big enough for the purpose.
we,
Yes, they don't have
Go.
a vision of what the street, how is the street scene changing? I mean,
Well,
it's
Two
the
garage doors
to a door and a window.
yeah, so it's not going to...
It's not. It's not going to. It's not at all. I mean, we had similar thing on issues on size. Do you remember with that property on the back lane in St Column Minor, with the property that was in an old?
Coronation Way, the same.
Yeah.
There was one up on Pentar, but that got turned down because it looked straight into somebody else's window.
Yeah.
I mean, it's...
It's small, and I think I'm going to propose no objection pending that it meets minimum size requirements. I think that's... Joe?
Oh no, go first. Go.
Because
No,
in
Margaret.
truth, if we're saying, 53 is all right for one person, there is no guarantee that just one person,
no.
a couple move in there and they'll have a child then up in the loft or whatever, won't they?
As I say, there is in they put these things into tables, and there is no measurement for one person living on 2 stories. I really don't know why, but so really there is a question that we need to ask that, because if it is intended for 2 people, it doesn't meet the measurements. It's 5 square metres too small, and if it's only intended for 1 person, A, how are they going to police that? And B, because that could easily be a double bedroom, couldn't it, by the looks of it? And yeah, B, well, I don't know. It's up. You make up your minds.
It reminds me rather of one that was on the back of Mount Wise, and it was a grotty little building, and they turned it down, and we had the Imperial Inspector came round and he said, well, have you got a policy against grotty little buildings? And no, we didn't. And in that case, I mean, at least they can get to the, and you couldn't even get to the open area, you had to climb through a window to get to it. So I hate it, I think it's much too small. But I think it's, and I would love to object to it, but
It's
I think
nothing
it
to
would
be
just get
proud
through.
of in terms of housing, improving housing quality, but then, people are living in 1 bedroom in shared property, aren't they? So for that, it gives people a chance for privacy on that. So, and we don't know if they're going to rent it out or sell it off. So do we have a seconder for my proposal of no objection pending?
Yeah, I will
size
second
requirements?
it. I think you're right that we don't have any guarantee that more than 1 person will move into this, but then we don't have any guarantee that more than 5 people will move into a 2-bed. So that kind of is a logical thing. I personally don't think it's a grotty little property. I think it has potential to be quite an innovative tiny house if it's done properly. Although with many reservations, because I think we are probably taking a risk on it. So, but however, I think that on balance, I'm going to second the proposal, and I'm ready to vote, really.
So as long as we can have as well some solar panel on that, because that roof's facing south, it lends itself to some solar panelling on there, help reduce the cost of living there even more. So vote on this for no objection, pending?
Subject to the...
Yeah. So 6, objection, and 1 objection.
I'll bring myself to vote for it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it.
Well, we'll see in a minute. I couldn't remember it.
I thought this was the one when they wanted an extension, and there was all sorts of kerfuffle with the neighbouring, and it got turned down, and I thought it was bantered around, but I may be mistaken.
You might be right. I don't know that would have any bearing on this one, but anyway, let's have a look.
No, it's the next one, 52, we're doing where this. I beg your pardon.
Right. Okay.
So no, we haven't seen this one.
Right. Okay. So it's
Search for a plan. Why is it doing that?
oh,
If somebody starts talking to me, I'm not quite sure why.
artificial intelligence, Joanna. Right. Yeah. So the house is the red marker that's left of the Trent Creek holiday. Ah, right. Sorry. It's the house to the left of the red marker. It says on my notes. If we come down to the street view, which for some reason says 50.
No, 52 is the next application.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Oh, fabulous! I've not saved the street view. Brilliant. There it is. Thankfully, I did take note that it had got a blue car in front of it. So that's the that's number 52.
No, 112.
112. I do apologise. Normal service will be resumed. Number 112. So the location, we'll start off with the location plan. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just zoom in a bit on that one. You can see it's it's quite a sort of generous plot size, plenty of room for extending, and then we've got another very helpful plan that shows where this single-storey rear extension is going to extend to. Elevations.
Is that up by the bit where the road suddenly changes to another?
Sorry, do you need to look at the overhead again? Or are you happy with where you are?
I think I know where it is.
Okay. I'll just open both sets of elevations and start with the existing, go to that. Right, so the north east, so top left is the street facing. If we compare that with the proposed, you'll note that there's a porch on this side. That is going. And it does mention replacement windows as well, and they are slightly different. Obviously, this is the front of the property, so you're not going to see much of what's going on at the rear, which is where the extension is. The southwest, so that's the bottom left-hand corner. So that's your existing at the moment. Again, you'll see magically the porch has disappeared, and yeah, we're looking straight at the extension here, so we don't really get an idea of the extent of it. But you'll see that it's got pitched roof and bifold doors. The northwest elevation, that's a little more telling. That's the top right one. So there you go. You can now see the extent of the single-storey rear extension. Roof lights on the pitched roof and no side-facing windows. And then, yeah, that's the southeast elevation, so the side that's got the garage. Again, you can just see that extending backwards, but with no additional side windows. In terms of the floor plans, that's your existing ground floor, and they've made it nice and easy to see the footprint of the extension, which is creating a new living area. The extension has 25 metres square of floor space, creates opportunity for a new living room, a new living area at the rear of the dwelling. Allows for some internal alterations that enable a more open plan kitchen and dining area, the addition of an extra bedroom. It was a 3-bedroom, it becomes a 4-bedroom, and you can appreciate the removal of the porch. It used to lead into the kitchen. It's just shown here, it would now lead into a bathroom, which you probably wouldn't want your porch to do. And the roof will be tiled pitch roof with roof lights on it. That's the application.
So is there anything windows looking into the gardens of the next two buildings?
No.
No, so there's no side windows being added, so it's not creating new views that way. And obviously it's already got views into its own back garden, so it's not creating new views in that direction.
I've got.
Look at the amount of amenity space that's lost by perhaps looking at a bird's eye view of the property.
Not much. Yeah. Not much. They've still got big garden front.
These are generous plots.
Yeah.
That's the term I like to use.
Yeah.
Benefits from.
Yeah. I've got no issues. There's I'm proposing to support this. I'd much rather have extensions on bungalows at ground floor level and keep the bungalow. So I'm proposing support. Have we got a second? Joe's going to second.
I'll second that.
No. All those in favour? Brilliant. Thank you. If we can say something about some water butts or something like that, and
I've got the comment around G2.
G2 on that'd be great. Thank you.
Encouraging that sort of thing. We can't insist on it, but we can
Yeah.
encourage it.
Yeah. When we're short of our 15 billion litres of water a day, you would like something to flush down the toilet, if nothing else. Right. Application 5, still on Bedowern Meadows, PA 25/06447. 52 Bedowern Meadows. This is one I'm sure we've seen before. Ground floor front side extension.
This is why I was getting confused, I think. Yeah, so 52.
It's because you keep talking to your laptop, Joanna. It's starting to talk back.
Yeah, so the precise location is exactly where that red marker is. So it's one of the little spur roads that goes off into the into the new development. In fact.
Yeah.
Okay. we'll have a look at the street view. They're sort of, it's kind of interesting the way these houses. It's quite relevant actually that they're, whilst they've got this spur road down the front, this is actually the rear of the house. So the front is down this. There's actually like a little pedestrian only pathway, and that is the front of the
And it's
house.
been down to number 80 or something.
Is that small road going to be the entrance to the new estate that's going in there?
Yes, one
It
of
will
them.
be.
Yeah, those spur roads were built specifically with the idea of there being further development over this way.
So the last time anybody looked at this one, it was 2004?
Oh, it's not the one we've looked at then.
Collinsmere.
Okay.
Right.
Go for it, Dan.
So start off with, as is our way, we'll start off with the location plan. Okay, just to make sure
looked
that
at
we're all
56.
aware of the application site. Existing plans and elevations. Usefully, this
Same architect.
diagram, I mean, this is a very straightforward application. Usefully, this diagram at the bottom here has you can see where the number 52 is, a little hatched area that effectively represents this area. So what you're looking at is a very small area of infill, a ground floor front side extension. So the ground floor shows that opportunity for infill, and the proposed, there we now have that area infilled. It looks as if they're just creating a hall space with it. It's but they are infilling that space and making their house, properly square. That's the application.
With two Velux windows in the roof at the top and not a window at the side. So no new windows, and just moving the front door forward to be flush with the house. Wow. Has anybody got any?
And that front of the house is not visible from the street. You have to walk up a little sort of kind of pedestrian lane to get to it.
I have no. Yeah. So Margaret's proposing to support. Seconder. Sandy seconding. All those favouring support. Yeah. Everyone that was.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm probably asking you a silly question. Oh, that's the second floor, is it?
The same question will be asked, too late, but carry on.
I'm just trying to work out from how many bedrooms it's got. It doesn't seem to look like
3, I think it had.
is that on the second floor. Oh, I see.
They haven't got a
It's
second
just on
floor.
the ground floor.
It's a bungalow. It hasn't got a second floor.
Yeah, sorry, this little squiggle at the top here, it means that they've only shown part of the
house.
part of the accommodation.
Yeah.
That's why it's not looking.
Something concertinaed.
So
There you
you've got
go.
1, 2, 3 bedrooms at the back of the house, and obviously that's not changing. Yeah, that's if you'd like an extract of
Yeah.
the floor plan. Okay?
Yeah.
Lovely.
Brilliant. Okay. Application 6, PA 25/06221, the Kenton, Watergate Road, change of use from a vacant staff accommodation room to a holiday let accommodation.
Okay, Kenton. On Watergate Road, sort of kind of
I wonder which accent you're going to go with there,
a
Duncan.
safe-ish distance from some of the local cliffs.
Unlike our obligation.
So far, we're on.
This is brilliant. So it's, you look at it, it's banana. It used to be yellow.
Oh, it's cold day
It's-
and
it's used
a
to-
hot day.
I like that.
What year was it?
What year was it painted? Well, let's see. It was still. Oh, they've added some sort of peach tones to the front in 2014.
Change the requirements.
Yeah, and this is, it looks like around 2016 they decided blue would be their colour. So there you go. Oh, I've completely confused myself now. Right, the location plan shows us the area that was once upon a time staff accommodation. I know it's not very helpful, but well, it's helpful for people in the room, not if you're watching it online. I'm just going to point to the staff accommodation, which is this bit here, okay? That sort of oddly shaped little part. That was staff accommodation, now redundant. The proposed development, we are told, will utilise a redundant area of the hotel that was used as a management and staff accommodation until it became too damp and cold for habitation. It's currently used as a go-between store for bar stocks. There is a concrete block lean-to the east elevation that is used for storage and garden maintenance. It's proposed to form a self-contained holiday accommodation for 2 persons. The proposed holiday accommodation will be self-contained, but the guests will be welcome to use the hotel facilities, including the dining room. It will be brought up to a high standard with all the walls being thermally insulated. New windows and doors installed, the existing floor will be insulated and the existing concrete roof will be insulated. So
I'd hope
they are
so
going
for some
to
quality
improve
accommodation.
it. I think is the
I do
message.
regret losing staff accommodation, but it was so foul.
I think that I think there's a difference between losing and having already lost.
Yeah.
Really, in this instance. Yeah, the bottom left drawing shows that hatched area. That is this redundant staff accommodation. Ground floor, we are looking at the living area of the former accommodation and the garden store lean-to. Okay, the proposed, let's make that slightly larger. So you see we've a living area, kitchen, storage cupboards, bed, and that lean-to is going to be converted to an ensuite bathroom with shower. The east elevation.
Sorry, can I just ask, where is the door to get in?
The door to get
Oh, there.
in,
Okay, it's
yeah.
there by the ensuite.
Yeah, this
It's
one
all the way
here.
around there. Okay.
This one here.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you're coming round the side of the hotel
Yeah.
to access it. Yeah, I was just going to say the east elevation, let's just make that a little larger. That's the lean-to that becomes the ensuite, and you can see that they are building that up to the same size. They say foul water will drain into the existing drain, and the RWP surface water will drain into the existing RWP gully. I don't know what that means. I do.
It just
Rain
goes into
water-
the drainage
right,
network,
okay.
effectively.
There is in total an additional 3.5 by 2 metres of additional roof area to be drained. I think they've included that information because they are arguing that there's not much needs to be done in terms of the drainage plan. The officer will obviously decide if that's the case or not. But that's the application anyway. They're converting that disused space into accommodation and updating it.
Thoughts, people? Oh, Margaret?
So, like you said about, going back to the spa, about the area, is there any sort of
That's for residential dwellings.
so this
yeah.
would be different?
This would be, yeah, it doesn't come
And
under
would they
that.
have to have parking now that they're making this a new sort of holiday let?
Presumably,
Car park round
yeah,
the
I mean,
back, wouldn't
presumably there is a parking. There
Up
would
around
be
there.
a parking requirement. I can't.
Say 50%.
It's 50%, so it's not really going to change. They have to have, if they've got, so if they have 10 bedrooms, they would need 5 parking spaces. We're told that it's not affecting the parking. It might be a question that you want to ask though. That's in terms of our policy.
Joe?
Yeah, I'm just going to pick up on the whole idea of that it was a damp, uninhabitable place, and they're mitigating that with insulated walls and ceiling and roof. Does that include checking that the damp course is sound, and will they be upgrading if necessary? So
That would
obviously
it'd be very foolish of them if they didn't, but that's a building control
Yes,
issue.
yeah.
building
So,
control
but
is
is there
not-
a way of connecting that thought to? I mean, can we check with building control?
No,
Is that,
there's nothing to
there's
do with planning.
nothing to do with that.
No.
I know it seems silly, but there's from where we stand, there's really little interconnection between building control.
Yeah.
We aren't consulted on.
Out of scope.
It is. We aren't consulted on building
Yeah.
control issues,
I think,
which can be frustrating. But
I mean, it's improvement on the accommodation. Whether or not people would want to rent it out, I think that's them for the discover, isn't it, in terms of quality and things, because it's out the back there. But if somewhere cheaper to stay, maybe. Karen?
I just wanted to comment that they're happy to do it up for paying guests, but they weren't happy to do it up for their staff, which is pretty shocking, really. Just wanted to comment on that.
Karen, yeah. Yeah.
we've lost a lot of staff accommodation.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and for the hospitality industry, there's just nowhere for them to live. Even if they're if it was a management accommodation, yes, it's very depressing. But I think the horse is bolted from the stable on that one.
Can we actually say we regret the loss of...
We can do, yeah. Of quality staff accommodation.
It is saying it is now a redundant. I can
Yeah.
something.
But the point of making is balance.
Yeah. So I'm happy to support on this. No objection.
I'll second that.
Yeah. Vote on that one then. No objection. Yeah, we're all on that one. Can we have then the solar panels as well then, please, on the roof? That would be great.
Can we ask for that on commercial stuff?
I think we can put it in there, Duncan. I mean,
What are we going to do?
Yeah, no, just
Ask can be down.
I don't think.
Well, we're only the policy only allows us to encourage, doesn't it? So
Yeah.
I shall include.
And then Sneaky Deaky application 7 popped up. PA 25/06553, 35 Pentar Crescent.
What year is that to me?
Formation of a new balcony terrace over the existing front porch, including associated structural opening to provide access. Is that like a very posh name for a door? How many words does it take to use instead of door? A structural opening to provide access. Door. Do you think artificial intelligence came up with that?
It's a bit brief, isn't it?
A structural opening to provide access.
I once saw one with a door with a bit of glass in it, and it referred to it as a glazed vision panel, which I thought was quite good. Why use one word when you can use three?
We did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, five instead of 1.
Anyway, here we go.
I think I am going to declare an interest because I didn't see my roof for it. So mistake for me to leave.
Yeah.
Joanna's leaving the building. Well, leaving the room. It's like Elvis. There you have a pen. There we go. Do you want something to lean on, Joanna?
Lean on the door.
Okay. Right.
Right then, okay, yeah, so 35 Pentire Avenue.
Crescent.
Crescent. I will get something right this evening.
You imagine the surprise at 35 Bentar Avenue that they suddenly have
Yeah.
permission for a
yeah, you're
structural
sort of-
opening to provide it.
Yeah,
to
you're
provide
sort of
access.
hoping that they're not watching, right?
Hmm.
Looking at the street view, it's useful just to take in this little sort of hexagonal window.
Hexagonal
You'll
window.
see beneath it, I know, and it's a shame because they're going to lose that. Beneath it is the porch, and it's basically this space here is where they are going to put their balcony. Okay, balcony stroke terrace. So it's formation of new balcony terrace over the existing porch and some other structural stuff as well. Don't need to spend too long on this one in terms of understanding the application.
I mean, houses, you know, they're designed to look a particular way.
Right. Wanted to just compare these site plans to start with. That's this drawing at the top here. So this is the front of the house, that's the porch, and you will see there's the footprint of your balcony terrace. So that's what you've got at the moment with the hexagonal window, and there we go with the terrace. Elevations. Let's compare.
So is this facing the Gannon then?
Yes.
This is the street view as well.
No, there'll be
Yes,
houses
it
across
is.
the road that go down to the Gannon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But it does overlooking the Gannon.
Yeah.
Sorry, if you
Yeah.
there are days when the Google car's gone along there when the weather has been good. Most days it seems to have been absolutely appalling, but that shows you what they would be looking out. Looking out over as they sit on their new balcony terrace.
So they're sitting on the balcony. Okay, right.
And they're looking at.
Can you
at
turn
that.
it back round a bit, but keep it that side of the road? There it is.
So in terms of the elevations, do you want to see those?
Yes, please, Duncan. I
So,
was just thinking of
elevations. Yeah, so that's that southwest elevation is the street-facing one. And there you go. So hexagonal window, sadly gone, replaced by
Chimneys going,
patio
yeah.
doors. And that's the other sort of point to note really is that, as the eagle-eyed amongst you have noticed, all the chimneys go as well. I don't know if you need planning permission to get rid of a chimney or not. To be honest, it might just be one of those permitted development things. But there you go, with chimney, without chimney. The south and northeast images, the southeast and northeast, so top right, bottom left, there's no change there. The key side image is this northwest elevation, and you can see there they've got a 1.1 metre opaque glass balustrade around it, and that shows that the terrace balcony doesn't extend beyond the building line. Okay.
So it's a pillar. They're not extending the front porch.
Yes.
It's a pillar. So this is purely a balcony, and they're putting new doors on that with this pillar. Okay. So including associated structural opening to provide access, is this door then that they're talking about up here?
Yes. Must be. And well, I suppose a structural opening to provide access. Yeah.
To the porch. That's what I think. I thought they were going to put in like a new front door, but it's access to the porch.
It's access to the
Not the
terrace.
porch, the balcony rather. Yeah. Okay. So can we look at the street view again? Because this side is protecting it. They haven't got a view this way to the.
You're quite right. They would have.
So they're going to be looking over though the bungalow over here, aren't they?
Yeah. Although could you argue that they've got a dormer window on the left of the property, but as we watch it, and if
concern would have been that if this house was set back, that you could have stood on this and kind of looked straight back into
Yeah.
his bedroom window. But I
Yeah.
don't believe it is. I think
I
it's
don't
set. I think it's set forward.
So they've
And
got
obviously
they've
you've
got a
already
balcony here.
some views
So
anyway.
that little bungalow that we saw initially, that's become this house, hasn't it?
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And I hadn't
So the
noticed-
bungalow
hadn't noticed that.
has become the house because it would have looked over to the house. So this has got a balcony here, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Again, where it's set back, so it can't see it that way. On this version, have they got windows on the side?
Sometimes it reverts
Yes,
back.
it reverts back. Small one, looks like a bathroom window.
Yeah, so it's got a fan light, but you're not
Yeah,
going to. You're not going to get. Basically, I do not believe that you're really going to get much in the way of views than already exist.
And as I say, they've already got a balcony here, which effectively and they've got an opaque screen there from looking that way. It's just, I just find it quite, people sitting on their, and the noise impact really of having your neighbours. But there we go.
I think it's a good example about how to ruin a quite nice traditional
Yeah,
house.
yeah.
But,
I think that no objection pending that there isn't overlooking, because there's a downstairs window on the neighbour. But I think it's set back, and I don't think they could look into it. But if it's coming out from here, they might be able to. I'm not sure. So that just needs checking in my mind. Any other comments that anybody wants to? Karen?
Yeah, it's coming out quite a way, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
It's going to be level with the front of that front part of the house.
It's going to be
there.
level with the front here.
So potentially they could
So
look
potentially
into,
there's going to be overlooking.
The point is that you've already got views from these windows here, so you're not creating new views.
I suppose it's the aspect of them sitting outside on their new
They're going to
balcony.
be. But Duncan, if you look at where I've got my dibber up on the wall, at the moment this window here has got the corner of the building, so they can't see into that window there. But extending out a balcony here to the front, then they can now look into that window because they've extended beyond the front of the house.
So you're saying subject to no whatever you say.
Subject to no
loss of privacy.
Loss of privacy with whichever neighbour that is. It's going to be 52 or 56 to their ground stairs, probably kitchen window.
And also potentially their balcony, their own balcony, because at the moment it's set back and there'll be much more around facing.
Yeah. So where have they got the obscure glass, Duncan? On which sides? Oh, they haven't, no, because it's low down, isn't it, all the way round?
Yeah, so it's
1.1
metre glass balustrade,
So
so there
it's
is no
the-
screen as such.
So it's the west side, I think, needs to have, to protect that potential overlooking to the neighbour, needs to be higher. Again, if you look at my dibber on the wall,
Yeah, no, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand
Yeah.
what you're saying. In the
like
same way
that has there, yes. It needs to have that larger screen on that side.
Well, I mean, the officer will decide
Yeah.
whether it needs to or
Yeah.
not, but we can certainly say,
Yes,
yeah,
Direct their attention to that.
yeah, because they're going to be able to see, into the neighbour.
yeah, we can certainly ask that question. can't
Brilliant.
we?
Seconder for, Sandy seconded, all vote on that?
No
Yeah,
objection,
no objection, yeah, pending the overlooking,
Yeah, all right.
yeah, that needs to be sorted, yeah.
Yeah, and I'll include a comment about your concern about the
Yeah.
impact on the character of the house as well,
Yes.
because it may be relevant.
Yeah.
I think
Nothing wrong with saying it.
Yeah.
planning applications then, folks.
yeah,
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
we go.
Joanna! There we go.
There's been so much building work done on those houses that whatever you're looking at is not.
Oh, I didn't realise you were over here now. Sitting in the soundproof booth.
Okay, so,
I'm not allowed to shout at you.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
yeah. Right, terms of reference, risk assessment update. So, yeah, Duncan.
Okay, so I mean, hopefully you've all had opportunity to read the. I think I've given my copy to Karen. Hopefully you've all had opportunity to read this, which yeah, kind of puts forward a case for us having a look at which applications do come to the meeting and which very straightforward applications, and I'm talking about straightforward ones, could be arrive at the meeting with a short recommended response and and decision. Typically it would be support or maybe no objection subject to, but in the main I would have thought that they would be ones that we would be supporting.
Oh, thank you.
In practice, what would a typical presentation of a quick decision?
So at the back of your document you should have...
Your
Sorry, at the back of the document you should have an appendix. Yeah. Sort of giving you an idea. I mean, it's, it can certainly be worked upon and improved, but the idea is that you're working with two lists in the meeting.
So if I then...
I'm not madly enthusiastic about this. I think it might be interesting just to try it on a couple of the current agenda, but if you only have 4 or 5 applications, I don't see the point of splitting into 2 lists. So I didn't quite see when I was reading the notes when you would know how many applications you had. Is there a break point where you would, for instance, we've got 7, we've got 7 tonight, and I would guess if you really wanted to do 2 lists, the first one, the number 1, the lawful development certificate, the change of use from a vacant staff accommodation room to holiday let accommodation. I don't know. I mean, all of these extensions, are they worth looking at, or are we just going to say they're coming? I mean, I'm looking at today's agenda and wondering, well, because there are only 7, is it actually worth having 2 lists? And if this really only ought to apply when we've got something over 8.
Can I just come back from that? I think it's worth getting into the habit of it, and it's sort of in trying to encourage people to actually look at what's coming up.
That's not what this is all about.
No, it's not what this is about, but it's to be in that habit that it becomes normal. And because applications come in at the last minute as well, like number 7. When did number 7 come on?
Well, that's come in the day that the papers have been notified.
So
it's basically it came in after you and I had a quick look at the 6
it.
applications. I go back to
Which
my
ones?
computer and lo and behold, there's a 7th one. But obviously these need to be on the agenda. It's 3 clear days in front of the meeting.
You could put the whole of these 7, you could put them all on the we won't bother to look at it list, because they're basically you've got the change of the certificate of lawfulness, and all the rest are really, really similar. So how would you differentiate between application 2 to application 7?
But if you look at it, if you do have any queries about it, then we just move it over
but
to
I'm
them.
saying, are you telling me that you're going to produce a list that says they're all on list one? Because
Would the Spa,
how do you tell the difference between
would the
application?
Spa House been on list one?
No, I would have said no.
Absolutely, very much no.
Which one?
The Spa, the house at the back of the Spa.
Yes, possibly.
I don't think that this one would have just been a kind of a rubber stamp decision. I think that this, you know, there are going to be applications that are worthy of
Yes, so my question
discussion.
is, which of these, other than number one, would you have put on to it's not worthy of looking at?
Can we just hear what Joe has to say before?
Right, so can I just offer alternative perspectives to Joanna? I think what we're doing is, so there's two things. If there are a small amount of applications, I don't think that should influence whether it goes on list one or list two, because I don't see we shouldn't be drawn into let's make work for ourselves, because if there are 4 applications only, and sometimes we get 16 applications, I don't see the reason that we have to spend the entire evening discussing 4 applications if they are all reasonably clear and simple decisions. So that's point one. The second point I'd like to make is that the list one, I believe that what we are doing is delegating a certain amount of faith in the view of trained officers. Okay, so there is a lot of work that goes on prior to the meeting, especially in thinking about how to present things. And our officers use their skill and judgment in order to give us guidance in making decisions. And I think we should respect and value that. So those are the 2 points I want to make.
Karen, go on.
In principle, I don't agree with this at all, because the nature of our planning committee is that we, as a group of people, all have input. I know it might take time, and I know Duncan and his colleagues work very, very hard to put this meeting together, but in principle, I wholly object. I think the idea is that we, as a group of people, discuss each planning application. That decision shouldn't be down just to 2 people. And I'm not saying, you're not saying that we can't discuss this, because it can be in list 1 or, for discussion in list 2 if you feel it needs to be discussed. But the actual principle of, let's move it to list 2 is wrong in my opinion. I think the idea of our planning committee is to do, we can make decisions quite quickly. If there's something as simple as the Spa Shop little house, and that was discussed quite quickly, I don't see what difference it makes whether we discuss it in our meeting. I just don't agree with it in principle.
So we have Duncan. Duncan is part-time. Yeah. And last year we had, or earlier this year, we had 16 in one night, and licensing applications as well. It was extremely stressful. I think on that occasion I presented 7. And it's having that time if there is anything simple that you can all look at and actually go, they're just putting a front porch on the front of their house. The neighbours have all got front porches on that. And it's sort of like, there isn't an issue, there's no windows that are going to be overlooking, we can look at that we can then vote that through really quickly, that to do that. I think you because you haven't experienced these evenings when, you know, we're pushed to get it in by 9, and normally it's very, very rare to have our planning meeting finish at 8. This is, you know, for me, it's the 3rd council meeting this week, and I've got council meeting again tomorrow evening. You know, this is sort of like, in terms of management, it's just us and St Austell of comparative towns in Cornwall which do this, what we're doing at the moment. Truro, Falmouth, Penzance, Camborne, Redruth all have a triage system. So, and all we're saying is that it would be like to try it. I know you're relatively new to the whole planning system, and there's nothing to stop you from looking at the planning application and going, actually, no, I want to discuss that, and that's fine, and pushing it over onto the other column for discussion. Joanna?
I've been on this committee since 2003. So I just think the comment is you're new to this committee and you don't understand. I do understand when we have 16 applications that we may need to do it. We may need to trim them down. My problem is, I'm looking at this agenda and saying, if it's a tree, and we always say the same thing, no objection, we'll ask the tree officer, or the tree officer says it's okay. If we're talking about existing use, I'm absolutely happy with that. I think of the other applications on all of it, everybody had something to say, everybody had relevant questions to ask. I don't know how you would have distinguished between those 6 applications, which are all basically similar. You know, small expansions on a diamond. And I just, like you, and a point of principle, I just don't, I mean, if we could discipline ourselves to not ramble on quite so much on things that are simpler. But, and I do accept entirely that when we have a long list, yes, we need to do this, but I'm like you, and in principle, I don't like it.
Oh, actually, Laborna's hand went up beforehand.
You did say this was going to be a pilot to start with.
Yeah.
And so it would be worth trying it.
Joe then, no, Margaret?
I was going to ask, and you've already answered it, if I looked at this and thought, well, you know what, Whipsnade, that's not as simple in my mind, I want to move it across. What will happen if there was too many that want to go? That's what I'm saying.
Then we'll be
still do it.
We'll still be in the same position that we're already in.
Yeah. It's back to status quo. But if we can do more labour, then we'll do it anyway.
Yeah. Duncan?
Say that I think it would be only fair that if a councillor comes along to the meeting on the night and says, I don't want that application to be included in the en bloc recommendations, I want it to be discussed, I do feel that councillor should take responsibility for presenting the application, as you know, as Sarah and Joanna has done, because you will have had, if you look at the timelines, you will have had potentially up to 20 days to look at these applications. And I do feel that sometimes, maybe not so much from this committee, but in the past I have worked with committees where really everybody's been turning up and they've not looked at anything at all. I would like to encourage councillors to look at the applications more. There is also a point about making this job role sustainable, because it isn't at the moment. As lovely as you all are, you're not paying me for the extra hours that I do every single week. Perhaps another system could be that I will say, right, I will do 20 hours worth of work, and then I'll bring to the meeting the work that I've done, and if I haven't done work on an application, then we'll just have to muddle our way through it of an evening. I'm not prepared to carry on like this, and all I'm asking is that you trial it.
So personally, I think what you've just said shouldn't really be in an open domain, being streamed, to the public about, what you will and won't do. That's my personal view. Okay. But in regards to saying that if I say, so the felling of the tree, I'd be happy with that, but just say the conversion retrospective, well, they have to go through anyway, don't they? If I wanted to move something across, I think we need to be very careful here. We're volunteers. And like Sarah, I've had 2 meetings already. I've got tonight, and I've got another meeting that I'm chairing tomorrow night. I also work, and therefore, if there was one particular one, I might not have the time to do all that background check. I might go and have a look at the building, but I still might say, I don't want to present at anything like Sarah does it. I know you might like it or you might not like it. That's not something that I've signed up to, and I don't want to do that personally.
So if you give me notice ahead of the meeting, then I will present the application. If you turn up at the meeting on the night,
I'm with you.
then I think it would only be fair that you've come along with some knowledge of the application and that you are prepared to talk the councillors through it. Obviously, I will still put the images up, but I think that would be fair. And and hopefully it will be it wouldn't be a too complex an application. No. The other question about numbers as well is that this isn't, I must stress, particularly for people that are newish to this committee, it isn't just about numbers, it's about the complexity of applications that we look at. We could look at 7 single-storey rear extensions in one meeting, and we could look at 7 Hotel Bristols in another. It's, it really, it's just talking about numbers doesn't get to the root of the problem.
Right, yeah, I've got 2 more points. So, firstly, your suggestion about advance notice of presentation, I think, is a reasonable compromise between the points that have been put forward. So, I'd just sort of like to support what you've just said there, in the sense that if there's an advance application, then if you can find the time, then you may be willing to present on that. And whereas if it's on the night, then to a certain extent you'd be wrong-footed, and it would be a sort of stressful experience. So, I think that your suggestion, I think, is sensible. On the other thing about whether it's going to appear on list 1 or list 2, and it's back to my view on professional judgment, and that we should do what we can to trust and support our officers. I'm making the assumption, and I would ask for your response on this. I'm making an assumption that anything that ends up on list 1 would be done so with a reasonable amount of confidence and assuredness that it's not a risky application that needs to be discussed or of sufficient complexity. And I think if there is a doubt in your mind that actually maybe we need to look at this in more detail, it would then go to list 2 without too much trouble at all.
I would say that perhaps the only way that we can be 100% certain how that's going to work is to trial it, to be honest.
I think Joanna just beat you.
What sort of period are you thinking of trying this out?
I would ideally like to do this through to the end of the civic year.
So that's quite a long period, isn't it?
We wouldn't be starting, because terms of reference would have to be changed at full council in October, so it would probably be one of the later meetings in October that we'd be doing it. So in terms of full months, you'd probably be looking at November, December, January, February, March. Civic year, I think, goes up till May. So you'd be doing it for some months, at the end of which hopefully we would have a good idea if this and we would have honed our technique, and we would know if this was worth carrying on with or not.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Right, me again. Okay, so given your idea about say we are going to trial it, and say we are going to trial it for that time frame, would it be practical to have what you might say an informal interim review, sort of a quick look, a quick dip in halfway through that time period to say how we're getting on? Because if there are obvious organisational issues that arise, then we're not stuck with that. And then at the end of that proposed time period, we have a slightly more in-depth review that can provide us with some a bit more robust data about whether we feel the pilot has been a success or not.
Sound like quite sensible sort of things to build into the process.
Can I just say before, because Karen actually had her hand up before that. No, but I just want to say something before Joanna. I think when the trouble is when we've had lots at a meeting, we have rushed things through, and the public equally could come back and say you didn't give us due course on sort of like in terms of risk. So yeah, I mean that's sort of the alternative that we are dealing with quite a few few meetings that we dealt with where we have had a lot, of 12, or it is then, as I said, it's stressful and we do whip through certain ones anyway. Karen.
I was
yeah.
just about to say
No, Karen had her hand up before you, Joanna.
Actually, you said it before Sandy, and then Sandy jumped in.
Oh, sorry, yes.
Go for it, Karen.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Can I just propose an extension to the meeting, please, for, I'd say, half an hour, just to make sure we cover ourselves. Seconder? Yeah, Sandy, votes for extension. Yeah. Karen, sorry, yes.
Sorry, what I was going to say is that if this was proposed, well, there's a couple of things I wanted to say. That it might be difficult if we do this as a pilot and we don't like it, to actually go back to how it is now. I think that there might be some resistance to revert back. I think members of the public might not like the fact that each planning permission is not being discussed fully. Members of the public might take a view, the fact that we are a planning committee and we're not discussing every single planning permission. And I do think it's a bit of a slippery slope.
Slippery slope to what?
To losing control of something that we should, in principle, be making decisions on.
I would put and presumably the councillor would be able to say these proposed elevations show this, and I would put them up on the screen, and conversation would go. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
And then that helps to have the roundtable.
Yeah, but it should be it's important to remember that those applications are on a list where they are considered uncontroversial. We've already screened them, and they are considered uncontroversial and relatively uncomplex. That it shouldn't be too difficult. What I'm trying to say is they would be quite simple applications, and so although we would be muddling our way through it, wouldn't be we're muddling our way through.
Be the chair, the vice chair, and you.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that if we have a last minute, it's not on list 1, it's on list 2, it won't be an application that's got 100 documents to it.
How many days are notice?
It's in the the timescales are in the will partly depend on when the application comes in. An application comes in at the start of the process, then that's 20 days. Why wouldn't you know it's on list 1 or list 2? It's going to be on IBABS.
Right, so this is something that's going to be on IBABS. It's going to be...
Yes.
And when will that list be produced vis-a-vis the...
That list will start when the first applications come in before that meeting, which is a 20-day period.
So
obviously, later applications won't be on for as long.
No, I'm just...
I will just be, the meetings are all on IBABS at the moment. It's just that they are blank until I fill them in with the agenda. What I will be doing is using those blank ones and putting that list on there for the next meeting.
So keep looking at the
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, as they come in, I will email them to the councillors, and
Like a 5-day protocol.
Well, I
Yeah, but we're not talking 20 days, Duncan. I think we are talking the 7 days.
I'm going to go.
Yes, thank you.
But you have
Yeah.
my thoughts.
Yeah.
As long as I've got 7 days.
Yeah.
But
I think it's a different way of thinking. Yes, I only look at it 7 days because that's when the agenda comes out with the list of applications. But what's going to be happening is that the boxes will be there, I presume as some sort of spreadsheet, that when they come in, which could be 20 days beforehand, right up until the 7th. Yeah.
It's only 14 days since the previous meeting.
Yeah. But the applications come in before that, not many. I mean, how many applications have you got already for the next meeting, Duncan?
at the moment I've got 2 applications for the next meeting.
So they're just there that people can look at them. So when you could look at them, if this was system was it, they could be up there, you could be looking at them now. And of course, then, as opposed to waiting for the week and then looking at them all or not, yeah.
De facto, if they're on list 1 or 2, whatever it is, it's basically, it's either approved or it's a no objection with a comment. And that will be on the list, so we'll know what there's.
Yeah. And then we'll be voting it through like a 5-day vote protocol that...
5-day protocol, just saying it is approved.
Yes.
Approving the process.
But we need to vote through and approve the process, approve the sort of like, that, whether it's going to be no objection or sort of like, or support. So we'll still be voting on it. If somebody comes to the meeting sort of, I'm trying to think if somebody's come to a meeting where something's been really simple. People tend to come along to meetings when they aren't.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking to improve the public's awareness of the applications that we are discussing.
People tend to come along to present their applications.
Yeah, but sometimes they'll come along. The worst case scenario would be that somebody comes along to object to an application and we go, well, we've already decided that we're supporting it.
Yeah.
But if you've read this report, you will see that there is facility for us to be able to go, right, we will be discussing this application this evening.
Yeah.
Because I'm not prepared that we don't, I'm not prepared for us not to represent the people of Newquay
Yeah.
in this room. That's absolutely what we need to do. This is, in a lot of respects, this is about making this meeting and this job role sustainable in the way that other large councils have successfully done across the county. And it is possible to do because they are doing it and have been doing it for a long time.
Karen?
It was just to reiterate what you've just touched on there. It's the public's perception, I think, that worries me, that planning applications aren't discussed fully, even the most simplest planning application. And that worries me, that members of the public's perception of that. In other words, the decision is recommended that something will get passed by 2 or 3 people is not what it's all about.
We aren't a decision maker, we are a consultee, so we aren't making any decisions about their planning applications. We are being consulted
recommendations
on them and giving a, it's not a recommendation, we're giving our view. We aren't deciding their applications.
Anyway, I assume that someone is putting forward a proposal that we adopt a pilot of this process. And
Yes.
it will be a show of hands, and it will happen if people support it.
So I'm proposing that we trial this recommendation that Duncan's created to trial a 2-tier system then for planning recommendations. Right, okay, so on a vote on that so 4 objections to it, 2. So we'll see how it goes. On that.
Are we going to include within this trial the recommendation that I made for an interim and a final review of the process?
I think that we should.
Should we vote on that detail? I think we didn't actually bring that in. So in effect, what I'm proposing is an amendment to the
I think that the proposal needs to be that because I couldn't say when it should be, and perhaps I need to have that conversation with the town clerk. But no, I think that probably ought to form part of the.
vote on that at a later date.
Oh, well, no, you can do it now. I'd do it now, to be honest. It's just that.
Oh, sorry.
It's just that we might.
We accept the principle. Yeah.
My laptop.
Yeah.
We'll ask the suggestion and then we'll see how it goes.
Joe, can you plug me in? Sorry, my laptop's about to die.
Yeah. I might just put it over there.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah. Sorry, what, Joe, do you want to propose? And then.
What am I doing? Proposing that amendment?
Yeah.
Okay, so I propose that we, as part of the agreement.
Oh, we need to wait for Sandy to come back in.
I think I'm forward wording.
Sorry, we'll wait for Sandy to come back. He's just popped out. Diddly-diddly. Sounds like it's raining out there.
Raining pretty well.
Miserable day today.
It's supposed to be getting better at the weekend. I'm hoping so. I never stopped surfing quite so early.
Here he comes.
Bring him back.
You're all right. So Joe's about to make a proposal for evaluation.
Yeah, so I propose that as part of the agreed pilot scheme that we're going to run, it includes a informal interim review at roughly a midway point, just to check that there are no glaring difficulties with the system, and a slightly more formal review at the end of the pilot period, where we can produce some kind of bit more robust evaluation data to give us a clear view about whether what are the strengths and weaknesses and the successes.
Okay. There we go. It's a door.
Fine.
Okay, seconder for that. I'll happily second that. Lamorna was going to second that one. Okay, voting on that. Yeah, all in favour of that amendment. That's fine. Brilliant.
I think that's very wise. I think that's really good.
Yeah.
Really good. if it doesn't work, if it's a complete disaster, I will be the first person to give it the elbow, I promise you.
Yeah,
Absolutely, because this is my workload that we're talking about here, and if it's not, and I take some pride in the functioning of this committee, and if it stops functioning properly as a result of this, I'll be the first person. I'll be the first person to give it the elbow. I promise you.
You're going to be working with our comms officer as well, aren't you? So putting out some messages to public and things about this.
We've got there. I mean, I'm not a comms person, but since we create the role of communications officer, there is a much improved connection with the people of Newquay through social media and other things which I know very little about, and we can utilise that to make sure that members of the public, if they are unhappy with an application being rubber stamped, that they can address that and make sure that that doesn't happen.
So,
although I think the term rubber stamp is probably inaccurate.
As soon as I said those words, as soon as those words came out of my mouth, I regretted it.
Yeah.
A recommended response.
Okay, let's move on because we're coming up to 8:15. So, number 12, reports and associated recommendations of working parties. So, Community Governance Review Working Party. Have we got anything to report on that?
Well, just that I've asked for it to be put on the agenda because we need to consider whether we are now going to go back and say we think with all these new houses going in, whether we think we should look at the parish boundary again.
Okay.
I can't say I raised it at Cornwall Council. I can't say there was any degree of.
Was there? They weren't going whoop whoop. no whoop whooping.
But I think we do need to raise this issue again because it is ridiculous that all of these new houses are coming on and boasting about how they're living in Newquay and they're actually all in Coleraine. Yeah. And there have been one or two things that have gone through at the moment we haven't seen.
Yeah.
Because they're in Coleraine and not with us.
Yep. Neighbourhood plan?
Neighbourhood plan, we do need to have a meeting on.
Yeah.
We've got a bit of training coming up, haven't we? So I think
it clashed with something, didn't it? Because I can't do it.
We'll talk about that in a minute, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, but we probably do need to because of the trainings coming up, and it's very
planning,
difficult to do when we know it's going to be at least 4 years away. But I think we actually do need to establish. Duncan, did we actually ask for volunteers for the neighbourhood plan working party?
I think all the working parties have got membership lists.
But it clashed with planning, didn't it? That it was going to be in like 4 till 5 or something before planning.
It goes from 4 till 5:15.
Yeah.
On the
Tuesday the 30th.
Tuesday the 30th. But they do make these things available in terms of the slides, and they do make a recording available. So I mean, I certainly won't be sitting in.
So we could do with
something so close to a meeting, but we will be able to see what happens.
Watch it at if we organised a meeting, then a neighbourhood working party meeting, then we could watch what happened, what was said. Yeah? Okay. Parking.
Well, we should have a meeting because the cabinet member wants to have commentary from Cornwall councillors, but should be fed by us. On what we think about the charges on individual car parks.
Oh yes, because that was in the news, wasn't it?
So I don't quite know how we haven't actually done a doodle poll or anything like that. This week's is incredibly busy for meetings. I'm going to I don't know. Can I ask Molly to try and set us up a meeting next week? We've got to get our reply back by the 30th, which is. It's sort of Tuesday after next week, isn't it? So we've got to put some time. So if we've got the list of, we can just do a doodle poll and say, this is what it should be quite short, just need to discuss how we want to treat, do a paper just to get back to, so we need to do that. Otherwise I'll just do my own thing.
Have we got members of a parking working party?
I think I think we are.
Yes, we have. Yeah,
yes.
there is, as I said, there's
membership
for all the working parties.
Are you able to do that, Molly? That'd be great. If a poll can go out. yeah, next week. So really, it's going to depend on if you want to liaise with Molly, Joanna, maybe after the meeting in terms of times that you can make it, and we'll work from that.
Well, if I'm not meeting anybody, I'm reasonably flexible. I need to find out whether people want to meet in the daytime or 5 o'clock or whatever is convenient.
But if we start off with you as a starting point, rather
Okay.
than just like sometime in the week, and then we'll come back from that. Great.
Trying to have that meeting before our next meeting on the 30th, did you say?
Well, the 30th will be signing it off to say this is what we're going to say, because the
And it needs
30th is
sending.
when we have to report, and that's the Wednesday, is it?
No, the 30th is the Tuesday,
It's the Tuesday.
which is
So
our planning meeting.
We almost need to get that in by the 30th to get it to Dan Rodson. Although I suppose I can say to him, look, we're going to be a day earlier, we just need a day or two later, that's okay. I'll ask him whether we can extend the
Yeah,
day.
because it is
That-
quite tight then for then Duncan to write a report up.
Well, I'm not
Starts
expecting
Well,
Duncan to write
no,
a report,
no,
I'm
but it
expecting
needs to
working
go
out
on. It
the
needs to go
way
onto
it's
the meeting papers 3 clear
Yeah.
days ahead of the meeting.
Yeah.
So I'll
We
be
need to get it to
publishing
you,
the meeting.
if we can, by the Friday of next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm publishing the meeting papers on the 23rd.
23rd, so it needs to be an agenda item on that, won't it?
Yeah. Just say you approve of what we're saying.
Yeah,
And really, that is targeted to the Cornwall councillors who then may or may not choose to pass your views on to, but I will certainly do so.
okay. And I haven't got it, it's not on here, so the derelict buildings working party.
So we've had the first meeting. There's Jacob is managing it. He's sending. We've got a couple of people who are late attending. I'm not even sure how many people we've got on it now, because a couple of late. Nick Morris wants to do it, and Justine wants to do it, which is fine.
And
the more the
Steve
merrier.
wasn't there, he wasn't able to attend, was he? So,
So effectively, the doodle poll's gone up for the next meeting. Really, what came out of the first meeting is that Cornwall Council can give us limited support. What we need to do is to actually do a list of every building or site that we're worried about, and then prioritise. And it's basically number 2, because number 1's obviously going to be, well, we all know what number 1 is going to be. So number 2 is we need to look at, because that's the second one they will look at for us. And what they can do is they can write to the owner and ask them to board it up properly, or they can write to the owner and make it look tidy.
I suspect the second one would be not the island. I can never remember what that bit's called, you know, where they've taken the roof off.
Scarecrows, no, I don't
Yeah.
I don't think so either. because
don't-
it might be. It might be.
I just think it's quite visual, isn't it, for the town beach and the harbour in terms of that
and
visual
the other
impact.
thing we need to do is basically do a tour. Once we've got our list,
Yeah.
we then need to walk around Newquay and
Yeah.
make sure that we've actually got everything.
Yeah, you
we
could
want
tick it
and
off,
take
yeah.
pictures. So that
Okay.
so Jacob's pushing that one.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you, Joanna. Financial statement, you've been skiing, Duncan, on the...
I have not. No
No.
purchases have been made, no payments to authorise. I'll point out now that I've got a budget meeting with Anne Banks tomorrow. I've never had one of those with her before, but she's meeting with all the officers who look after a committee. It's just to let her know if we've got any financial surprises for her, which I suspect that we haven't, because we are
No.
the cheapest committee in the town
More
council.
batteries.
Look,
Yeah.
I've got 2 there.
Most sophisticated.
It's a bit of low that she...
Apart from the occasional
Okay.
Amazon purchase, I think we're all right.
Okay, so other correspondence that, can we make sure we keep our 5,000 budget then, that we're building up for that neighbourhood plan, please? Don't let it disappear.
That's
Yeah.
the £5,000 to the EMR for the neighbourhood plan is kind
Yeah.
of sort of written
Yeah.
in stone.
Brilliant. Right, other correspondence, number 14, the decision on 1 King Edward Crescent.
Just didn't agree with it.
No, that's right. So it's gone up. So the poor people that have a window are now going to have a wall. So their outlook has gone, and there we go. It's going in. Bit disappointing, to say the least. Duncan, do you want to say anything else on that?
He says, occupants of the garden would have an outlook to open sky above the building at a relatively low angle.
Yeah.
So it will not be an overly impressive presentation. Really?
They could have these chairs, couldn't they? And they could sit there and stargaze through the light pollution. Okay, items for information. So weekly decisions list. I had a flick through this. I wasn't sure there was anything of particular note. Some things have been removed though. From I looked at this ages ago.
Some things have been removed.
No, you know when they withdraw the application.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
See that Karen's tree things, then you've got sort advice. Isn't it Karen Adlam? Yeah. On 20 St George's Road? Yeah. Yeah. Is that you? Closed, yeah. Yeah. Closed advice sort, right. No, I'm just saying that I see that that's good. Don't we all? Don't we all have neighbours? But yeah, we don't share on to the public. No. No. So I don't think there's anything of note there. Next meeting then is Tuesday, the 30th of September. So this is going to be a 3-meeting month. So it's what we term as a blue moon, a blue planning month with 3 meetings.
It's not bad on the day of 30 days.
Yeah.
Is it worth mentioning that Boardmasters community meetings on the 25th September at Sands? You should have all had an email about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, and I can't meet that either. Yes, but for those people for the community, I have been to one there before, so it is worth going along. But we'll have the Newquay Town Council wrap up with Boardmasters as well. I think that's in October, isn't it? Yeah, of which will be, you can attend if you want to. So I think, is that it, Duncan?
I think it is.
On Tuesday the 30th, is that because it's full council?
Yeah.
On the Wednesday. Full council takes precedence and is then always the first Wednesday of the month. And then we get shunted to a Tuesday before. Anything else, anyone? No, that's a wrap, everybody. Thank you, and see you next time. Bye.